Thanks for locking in with 77 Flavors of Chicago. We're your host, Dario.
And I'm Sarah, and I hope you're ready to learn with us.
Yeah, buddy. Today we are talking about the Chicago Democrat. Newspaper, y'all. Yeah, your mic is there we go.
I know.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
The newspaper from back in the day.
You know, you buy so much shit. Buy me a new cord.
You just got to switch out the cord.
This is the second cord that's damaged on my mic.
We stop breaking them there. No.
I don't even unplug it.
Yeah, that's true. How y'all doing? We'll get into this. How y'all doing?
Amazing.
Happy birthday, Sarah!
Oh my God.
Hey!
That's what she said. Hit him with that.
That's what she said.
That's my favorite one.
Hey, Sarah just turned.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm 31.
Let's go. How does it feel?
I feel like a 16-year-old.
Man, that's good.
Yeah.
Young and sprout, huh?
Young and sprout.
There you go.
But like also I want to be in bed by 9:30. So I don't know how young and sprout per se.
You said mentally.
I feel like that's a result of the pandemic. Like I was never.
I don't think so.
No, but I used to go out.
That's true.
Like a ton. I used to club.
Yeah. I think it's the life we've lived the last 3 years.
Yeah, but
is a major part of that.
It started with the pandemic. Like just being in the house. I loved
It did
being
change
at home.
people. Yeah.
I became very comfortable in the house.
And then
And I used to get up at like 4:30 to go to work because I was an essential worker. So, fucking.
fuck that shit, man. Yeah.
So I started going to bed early and waking up super early. So I feel like, but I mean, I used to go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
We all did back in the day.
No, not back in the day, like 2019.
Yeah, me too. Back in the day. That's 5 years ago. That's back in the day. Shit, that's a half a decade ago. Damn, it's crazy when you say it like that.
Don't say it like that.
Damn, that's wild.
Don't say it like that.
I mean, but it is. Your boy, y'all, in case y'all didn't know, when I was locked into that comedy, man, 2019,
Yeah.
I had just come off a 365 mic touch year. So basically, I was on the stage 365 times or 50 times, some shit like this, some
wild.
crazy number.
Yeah.
It's only 365 days in a year.
I know you were doing a couple shows a night sometimes.
Yeah, I was doing like 2-3 shows a night. Like
Multiple.
2-3 days out of the weekend.
More. Well, you did like Monday, Wednesday.
Yeah, I was.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Man, I was in it, y'all. And so yeah, after when the pandemic hit, and everybody became sedentary or just like outside Joe like doorstep. Like shit changed. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We would
right.
just go on walks.
But then what got us? We literally be exhausted at the end of that day.
Yeah.
Like these.
Well, I mean, I still have a full-time job, y'all.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
You really, mentally, your shit.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just mental.
Yeah.
I'm not like physically in like laboring.
Right, because you're young. You know what I mean?
Correct. I
Young.
am very young. This is the first time in my life that I feel my age. You know what I mean? I've always felt much older than my age, but I feel like for the first time, I feel like I've always been in my 30s. I don't know how to describe it.
No. That's
I've always had to like take on a role of like a more mature person, and you know what I mean? And this is the first time that I feel like I'm in a good spot in life where I could just be my age.
That's good. You said my immature ass, though. You ain't got to babysit me no more.
I never had to babysit you.
I know. I'm just saying.
We wouldn't be here if I did.
That's true. Damn, you said.
Correct. I would not be settling for that. Promise you that much.
Okay, wow. Didn't he get it?
But I'm saying you're
I know,
not that.
I know that. I know. It still hurt to think about.
Why? It doesn't apply to you.
I did that to myself, didn't I?
Anyway,
okay.
How was your week?
Camera update, y'all.
It's still not here.
It's still not. This the week though. This the week. This is the week, y'all.
Keep us in your prayers.
Yeah, you're right.
Please.
Because your boy needed. I am very excited. Been busy with like a lot of video gigs, right? But I'm super excited like about the DNC. And it was crazy about it. Here's why I'm excited about the DNC. First, I was kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna be here, and I was thinking about it from the podcast lens, right? You know what I mean? Because you don't want to politicize the podcast, right? And I feel like that's what
I want this to be like a respire space.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I want you to escape real life.
Yeah. We
And
gonna
come
tell you
and
this
hang out
history.
here.
Yeah. So we were kind of feeling like, man, people just want to be on the podcast just to like get their message out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then, literally, at the time of this recording, the day of this recording, I was sitting here today and I was like, yo, it hasn't been a DNC since 1968.
Yeah.
And so, like,
It is his. It's. I mean,
it's
super
historic. And here's the thing, like I broke it down in this perspective, y'all, because some of y'all, you probably still like, man, forget the DNC, right? You know what I mean? Like, this stupid, a lot of shit going on in this world, and we get it. But think about it from this angle, right? My dad was 8 years old when the DNC was there. My dad.
Crazy.
My mom was 6 years old.
That's wild.
Like that's how far long ago. So they weren't even adults and they couldn't rock with it. You know what I'm saying? Like so people in our generation and even prior to our generation really didn't experience it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so we all about to go through this historic event.
I'm not about to go through nothing.
Yeah, I already got two.
My mom already is like, don't go anywhere, because my mom has this fear that like I could, whatever. She's just scared because she's halfway across the world. But regardless, I feel like it is definitely a historic time.
Yeah, I'm excited. I got two things lined up. First 2 days, maybe a third, maybe a fourth actually. So
I will be in the house.
Yeah, well, I thought I was gonna be, but
personally,
yeah.
The only thing I don't. Let's get off the subject.
Why? I'm just talking about. I'm just talking about it.
No, I just want to move on.
Okay.
I feel like
Okay.
about it for
What do you want to talk about?
This episode.
Okay. Well, this is this episode. Well, let's get into it, y'all. Let's we talking about the Chicago Democrat.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is,
I mean, move this thing so you can stop hitting it.
all your shit is everywhere.
Yeah. I mean,
What I was gonna say is, I don't understand why there's a DNC if the nominee has already been picked. The whole point is to.
well, technically, they ain't been picked. This
she
is
just has to accept it.
This is the exception. Yeah. So that's what it is.
Acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's what I was.
so today, kind of on par with, but
Not
really
at all.
not at all, not really at all. It's just coincidental. It's called the Chicago Democrat. Have y'all ever wondered about Chicago's first ever newspaper? So obviously in the realm of Chicago history, of course we got to tell you about the first. It was called the Chicago Democrat, and it was started by
John Calhoun.
John Calhoun, y'all, in 1833. Now, this is an interesting piece right here. This is pretty interesting how he came here. He's a New Yorker. He's a New Yorker, and he had a business, printing business, publication type of thing over in New York. Mm-hmm. And think about 1833. They were talking about how they were thinking, what is the West like?
Yeah. Chicago.
Yeah.
Well, Illinois was the wild, wild west.
Well, it wasn't even Illinois. Well, yeah, I guess it was Illinois at that point. It was literally the
town
the
of
West.
Chicago. Yeah, it was this was very like far west. I
The
guess.
frontier.
Yeah, the frontier.
Yeah, and so
Metaphorical frontier.
Yeah,
also.
Yeah, for real. I mean, because the other states out past Illinois wasn't there.
Was nothing.
It was nothing. You know what I mean? So, so in that, with that mindset, he was wondering what's out there in the West.
Yeah,
well,
a friend of his came and visited Chicago and went back and was like, "Hey, have you heard about this place?" And he's like, "Nope."
I think it'd be a good, because see what it was is they knew Chicago been lit. They knew this was a good a good spot and be like, "Yo, they got something going on over there in this place called Chicago." It was a town.
From like what I learned about the story, it feels like he realized this could be a place where I could become a monopoly.
Yes, where he could do his thing.
There's no publication happening right now. I could bring all my shit with me and go over there. This is as far west as I could probably go right now, where there is like a town, and start there. And I bet you that's what's going to come up next. So that's like probably, I assume, is like his thought process.
It had to be, because Chicago had nothing, and he uprooted everything that he had and moved to Chicago with all his stuff and started Well, he really didn't even want to start like that kind of paper. He did.
Yeah.
But then it kind of took off because Chicago didn't have anything.
Yeah. And at the time, he wasn't even writing everything himself. So a lot of in the first issue or a few issues, the pieces that were in the newspaper were actually from the St. Louis newspaper or like the other cities that already had newspapers. He took their pieces and published them in his, and then only the editorial piece was his. And so it's almost like he plagiarized the entire newspaper.
But when you got no communication, nobody else know. Who gonna say, "Oh, you stole this"? And I'm sure there was no rules around that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like at the time. So that's what he did. Now here's the thing: it was a daily newspaper for those that paid for it, but for the most part, everybody was getting this newspaper. It's news. I mean, it was something that you didn't know, stories you can read, and what's going on in other parts of the known world.
Right. It was 4 pages.
Yeah.
And when the first year that it was published, the first issue had 157 subscribers.
What if you had seen some shit like that? What would you do? I couldn't imagine.
I can't imagine. Like to me, I feel like it's like the first time we were introduced to AI. Like that was entirely like because like the internet. I grew up with the internet. That wasn't very new to me. The only thing that's very new that like I had to learn is AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like but that is also like not something that was outside of the realm of possibility because we obviously knew that AI existed.
We've been teetering,
but like we never used it as like day to day.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine like knowing what somebody else did in another part of the world at that time.
Yeah.
Like I'd be reading that shit like, oh snap, that's crazy. No, I wouldn't be saying that. I would like my black ass would be like, damn, they free up there? No.
Yeah. No. But it became the newspaper that kind of published.
You didn't get that, did you?
What?
You ain't get that.
No,
Somebody out there got that. I said I would be reading it and say, damn, they free up there?
Damn. I mean, statistically, you probably wouldn't be able to read.
That's true. It's that bad. That's true.
Honest.
That's true. That's very damn, man.
At that point,
this shit was wild back then, man.
Probably not. I mean, some knew how to read.
Yeah, right. They were sneaking. They had people telling them, teaching them how to do it. We need to do a anyway. That's a big tangent.
But what was I gonna say?
I don't know, but I was gonna say, so old boy got overwhelmed by like the success of the paper, and he kind of like stopped it.
Oh well, I was gonna say before that, it became kind of the paper that published a lot of what was the political happenings of the town. So it was like, oh, there's new laws or there's new rules or whatever it is. That's where they would publish them. So if you needed to learn about something that was going on in the town government, you had to have that newspaper, basically. So that's why it became very obvious. It's the only one. He had a complete monopoly on publication. It was a fairly new thing here. And so, he controlled it, but then
it was blowing up. But then he kind of got a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And so it stopped right around 34, 35, 1834, 35. In 1835, he actually came back out and said, "Hey, apologies, for like the impromptu hiatus and no reason behind
they
that."
were out of paper.
Yeah, I feel like that. I feel like that's like that's a cop out. You know, that's a cop out. And honestly, it very could be the case,
right?
Because it was only him doing it too. But like he also apologized for that,
right? But he also started getting competitors. So the Chicago's American was the newspaper that was his competitor.
Yes,
and it was the political party that started it was the Whigs, and so they were kind of like the opposition, I guess.
Right,
was what would be like a Republican or
and so the thing with that, kind of to that point. So as that was going, he also wanted to be the Cook County treasurer at the time, which was a newer position, and so he spoke to Long John Wentworth, and who eventually became a mayor of Chicago twice, right?
Yeah,
2-time mayor of Chicago, and basically said, "Hey, look, I'll trade you. I'll give you this paper. You can do what you want to do with the wig and everything like that,
right?
And just give me the position." And that's basically what the trade-off was. And so they took the paper, in good faith. You thinking that, oh, they're gonna continue doing what I do. that paper didn't really do that at all.
Right.
It became more of a Republican type of paper and more political, obviously. But,
Yeah.
but it was more Republican. Even what's his name? The president, Abraham Lincoln. So Abraham Lincoln, right around this time, Abraham Lincoln is, on the come up. And he was kind of like not backing, but they really talked a lot about him, and that was like some big support for that paper.
Yeah.
Eventually, that came under fire because he, being a Republican, said no to slavery.
Right.
So like 30 years later.
Well, you had the Democratic Republican Party,
Right. Yeah.
and then you had the Federalists.
Yes.
And then you had
There's a bunch of dumb.
not a bunch of dumb. I
there's a
think
bunch of dumb shit.
it was like there was multiple parties, but it then became a
Right.
two-party system.
Right. And still though, your boy was a part of it. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah.
He was part of that backing of the paper.
Right.
Long story short, they eventually just kept on changing kind of like titles and things like that. And part of it in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, I know, man. Your boy just locked up. Your brain just froze the fuck up. It basically became the Chicago Tribune.
No, the Tribune was a competitor of it. In 1861, Wentworth was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. He was a mayor. He was like, I'm too busy. He just shut it down.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he
So
just shut the whole thing
he
down.
shut that shit down.
Yeah. He had just finished his term as mayor, I believe.
foxtrotted him.
And he was just like, I can't keep doing this. His assistant had died, and so he just didn't want to invest any more money in it and to modernize it and like keep it going. So he just
You missed what I said again.
what?
I said he foxtrotted him.
Oh damn. Well, it lasted. I mean, decades. This is 1861.
Oh well, I guess Dom's didn't last decades. They lasted
Months.
no. Was it a year?
But he did give his he gave Wentworth gave no, it wasn't a year.
Damn, they
It was
wasn't
like
even around
literally
here.
6 months.
No, Dom's was it?
No, Dom's was around, but when Foxtrot bought Dom's,
Yeah. No, I know. I'm talking
they
about like
closed
Dom's
it
in
since-
general.
Oh yeah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If for anyone that's not non-Chicagoan, Dom's is a independent, not independent. It was a grocery store here in Chicago that was bought out by Foxtrot, which is like a, I don't know, your bougie bodega,
Yeah. Basically.
and they bought out Dom's, and then 6 months later
They
shut
filed.
down.
They shut down, and then
And then now
like a
they're-
month and a half later, they
They
came
were like,
back.
we're actually coming back,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're not bringing back Dom's.
That's that's great. I don't know. It's bigger than me. It's above my pay grade, but that's
Yeah.
crazy.
And it was all supposed to be like, it's all like locally sourced or like
Hey, the optics on that look real bad.
crazy.
Hey, if I'm Dom's, I'm like,
That's trash.
yeah,
it's
I'm-
actually trash because
I'm pulling up.
Yeah, the location was a huge location.
that wasn't.
Anyway, back to the story. So Wentworth actually, he didn't sell to the Tribune, but he gave his subscriber list to the Tribune. So like,
Oh, that's
you
what I-
became a Chicago Tribune.
Dang.
I don't think you became a subscriber, but
you had an end.
yeah.
You had I mean, basically,
The
it's like,
list was given to the Tribune. Like, hey, these are the people that subscribe to my newspaper. You can have them now.
wow.
Yeah.
Dang, Tribune had to get
Crazy.
McCormick was had the moving shake around there.
Yeah.
And McCormick was like, hey, now McCormick came later. McCormick wasn't the first
Right, he
owner
wasn't.
of yeah. Look at us knowing history.
Yeah.
Like we're a history podcast.
You
That's
know?
crazy. Hey, go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say we actually sat down. I mean, this part of the story is pretty much done.
Well, I was gonna talk about Newspaper Alley.
Oh yeah. Wait. We ain't done.
Yeah.
We ain't done.
Dario just had a big dinner, so
Hey,
he was forgetting things.
Your boy,
We went for a birthday dinner for myself,
man.
and we ate a lot.
We ate up some shit, boy. Big activity is what we
Big
call it.
activities.
New podcast.
No. But anyway,
It's gonna last 4 episodes.
so the Chicago Democrat was running out of an office on 45 North Clark in downtown, and that street is Clark. But down that street, there's an alley. Well, I was thinking like, what's the diagonal? Not diagonal, cross street.
Well, we got Washington and we got Madison. And,
There we go.
Yep, and then Clark is.
And Clark. But right next to 45 North Clark,
Mm-hmm.
there is an alley that was once called Newspaper Alley.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically where a ton of the newspaper printers were in that block. And so they would print right there, and newspaper boys would come to the alley and pick up their papers for the morning and run their routes. So it was kind of like a bustling alley.
Bustling.
From midnight to 5 a.m. It was like people in and out all night. It would like never be quiet, right? So it's called Newspaper Alley. And because it was very, very popular and people were always there, it later became a lot of like gambling houses were
Chicago,
near there.
We go.
So it became called Gamblers Alley. And in, I believe, 1911 or 1908 or 1911, I can't
1911.
remember. 1911. It was the first time that the Herald was sold, and so the newspaper, and so the alley was dark for the first time.
Yeah.
Is what it's called. So there was no one picking up papers at the time, and later that was the last nickname of the alley, which is now the official name of the alley, is Calhoun Place in
That's
honor
crazy.
of John Calhoun.
And what's crazy, y'all, is that this is an alley that is just out in the open in Chicago.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and you would.
Alleys don't have you usually don't have names for alleys.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like to see, it's literally an alley.
It's an
Like,
alley.
There's garbage bins and shit. So
But
like to see a street sign
Yeah.
going down the alley, you're like, why is that there?
And that's the crazy thing is there's a street sign
Yeah.
for an alley.
Right.
And I mean, you could drive down it. One is pretty. You can kind of get two. You get two cars going down there, but it's not meant to be like
drivable. It's
drivable.
like it's like there's loading docks for like the buildings.
Yeah,
and
all the trucks that-
garbage
yeah.
bins, and like, you know what I mean. It's just a fucking alley.
Yeah, but people use it to drive down.
Yeah.
It's
get
that's
from
crazy.
one to the other.
Why did it just didn't dawn? It just dawned on me right now that it does have an alley has
Yeah.
a street
A street sign.
sign. Yeah,
It's crazy.
that is crazy.
So that was the last time that it was renamed, and it's still Calhoun Place. I saw somewhere that it was on the National Registry of Historic Places, or it's a national landmark. I mean, but we didn't find a plaque, so I
did
cannot
not
confirm.
Yeah,
that
hard
it
to
is.
confirm that.
I would have to like go through their database and see if it is on there, which I did not do. So if you do that, let us know if you see it. But one really cool thing is we did go to the Newberry Library, and they do have copies of the newspaper from 1846 through I think 1858, but they are super fragile,
Right.
so they cannot pull them for us, so we couldn't actually see them. But they're like taped together, and you like if you flip them over,
I
they
want
kinda
to see this so
crumble.
bad.
I know.
It's so crazy that it was there. The oldest that they have though is
46, right?
1845.
45, yeah.
1845 is the oldest one that they have, and like we said, it came out in 33. Now, 45 is a pretty significant year too. That was kind of like a rebrand ish,
Yeah.
so to say, one of their many rebrands. So that's not a bad
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, and we were able to get photos of it. So when the library first received it, they took pictures of it before it went kind of like into this vault room, and so we were. One of the people in the library was able to send us pictures of the newspaper, which I believe is in our YouTube video, right?
Yes, it is.
So if you want to go check that out, the YouTube video is out now. You can kind of scroll through it if you don't want to watch the whole thing, because it's basically the same story. We go to the alley.
Got something else in there too, though.
There's something else. We went to the Carbide and Carbon building, and you'll see us at the Newberry, and then you'll see the images of the newspaper entered. I tried to look online. I was only able to find one sheet. So if you want to see those are there. You can go yourself to the Newberry Library and ask for those images if you'd like to have them.
Yeah.
They'll send them to you. It's not like an exclusive thing, but
You need a library card though.
you do need
A Newberry library card.
which is free.
It's free.
It's free to join the Newberry Library. It's a great research library.
Like we say it every
We
time.
use it so often.
Yeah, we
Even
that's-
if we don't like physically go in there, we always look
the
up.
database is
Oh my God.
ridiculous. Like
they have stuff that's just wild.
they have. I don't want to give away the episode because I want us to debut it. Them gatekeeping. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
They got a lot of shit there. Just know that.
Do
Just know
They have
that.
a lot. I mean, if you saw our episode on what episode did we include the papers about the
It is the incorporated city, the
incorporation.
Chicago's birthday,
Chicago's birthday. We included images of the papers.
and we were holding them.
Yeah,
Like that's
And
crazy.
You also can hold them. So
You know, you can also
Very
hold this
cool.
L. We about to send y'all. No, I was playing.
what does that even mean?
Oh, it's over.
I mean, I know what that
Damn,
means.
the
But
Chicago Sky getting their ass kicked again.
why would you say that?
I'm sorry. It's just, sorry.
Why would you randomly?
I don't know because it just
This
bugs.
is what happens when we don't have no one owns this podcast other than you and me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can
and
say
and we're the producers.
we can we can
You
say
know what I
whatever we
mean?
want.
Like if radio, what's the like big podcast studio? I forgot their name, but XM Radio or something.
Yeah.
buys our podcast.
Serious. You mean like
Sirius
you mean Spotify?
Well, no, not necessarily.
Spotify bought Joe Rogan.
Yeah, but Spotify is not going to buy our podcast.
I'm just saying. I'm just thinking. I'm
But
trying.
I'm thinking of like producers that buy smaller podcasts. Is what I'm thinking about.
What's the small one you think? iHeartRadio? Dang, that's not small.
Yeah,
That's big.
iHeartRadio.
Let's kick
buys.
your ass, boy. They had you in the corner on the ropes.
I wouldn't talk shit if I were you.
But just
Specifically,
take just
because
take
you
that.
could just rerun this episode
take
and
that.
see how many times you did that.
Well, but why you got to come back at your boy?
What am I just gonna take it laying down?
Standing up works, you know.
That's what she said.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah,
This was a nice little chill one.
this was chill.
Check back on Thursday. There will be a rerun, so make sure you check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Please rate, subscribe, and do all the things. It
All the
really
things.
does count. I know you think it doesn't. I know you don't think it does, but it does. If you want Spotify to buy our shit, you gotta. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
This felt like season 1 me coming out. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate all your support.
It is episode 196, 197, I believe.
Damn.
And it's crazy. We almost at
We're
200,
almost
yo.
at 200.
That's nuts.
We're gonna forget.
200 about to be a throwback episode.
We're gonna forget that it's episode 200. No. Damn.
Yeah, damn, we can't do that.
Yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, send it to someone you love. If you did not enjoy this episode, that's all right. Check back next week. We'll have a brand new one for you.
That's right.
Peace. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we hope you loved it.
And if you could please follow us on social media at 77 Flavors Shy on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter.
If you have any ideas or deep dives that you'd love us to do, please contact us at media@77flavorsshy. That's the number 77 flavors and shy for Chicago.com.
If you like visuals, please subscribe and follow and watch us on our YouTube channel at the same thing, 77 Flavors Shy. Or search 77 Flavors of Chicago.
If you would like to support us monetarily, go ahead and click that Buzzsprout link in the description of this episode.
And as always, we gonna see you next week. Peace.